Before the video starts, I would like to make a disclaimer. The audio you are about to hear, recorded by me, was recorded before a lot of major events happened in the FNAF franchise, including the release of Help Wanted 2, the Security Breach Ruin DLC, and more prominently, the movie. So if any of what I say sounds incredibly out of date, that's why. Also, this is your warning that this video contains loud noises and jump scares. I mean, what do you expect? This is a video about Five Nights at Freddy's. Have I really stooped to this level? Looking for a job in a newspaper? Wait a minute. What the fuck? Oh no. No. This can't be a real place. It just can't. And to prove it's not real, I'm gonna call this number they provided and let them confirm that this place is not real. And it turns out to be some sort of sex line, I don't know.
Hello?
Yeah, hi, I saw your advert in the paper, and I wanted to know if this place had any employees before, because I would be lying if I wasn't remotely curious about this. This is the part where they confirm there's no such place.
Yeah, you see, according to the boss, Mr. Afton, the first person that calls about this automatically gets the job, so... See you Monday night.
Wait, what? No, I didn't want the job! So the rumours and stories are true.
And now for the latest. A family restaurant has had to temporarily close down due to the disappearance of 5 children. Police are suspecting there was a murder at the popular entertainment restaurant Freddy Bear's Pizza.
Oh my god. It's like it's jumped straight out of the game. It even sounds the same. Even the phone's the same.
Hello? Hello?
You've got to be kidding me.
Hi, welcome to your new job at Freddy Bear's Pizza.
Weren't you the pilot?
And before you ask, yes, I used to be a plane driver, but since I developed a pizza habit, I decided to take up a job or work at pizza place. You know what they say, follow your dreams. Now let me tell you a few things you need to know since it's your first night. Well, one thing for sure, you gotta pick the gum underneath the table. Some asshole kids thought it'd be a brilliant idea to bring a pack of Bazooka Joes with them.
I think at some point in our lives we've all come across Five Nights at Freddy's. Whether it be from the games themselves, the merchandise, or even the memes surrounding it. It's hard to look at this franchise and not acknowledge its cultural impact it's left on the world of video games, as well as being a very divisive topic, with some loving it and some absolutely despising it. I think I speak for the majority of us when I say that we were a bit too young to get into Five Nights when it first began. Then again, you could say the same for YTPs. But my history with FNAF is definitely an interesting one, and after revisiting what I remember from it, is it all that bad? Well, that's what I've been finding out for the last few months.
Oh yeah, the animatronics wanna kill you. Okay, have a great night.
Great. Well, as I survive here till 6 AM, I'll tell you what it was like revisiting a series of games that I got into at the wrong age, but was still invested in. Oh shit, one of them's gone! What the fuck? It's not even 1 AM. Okay, no more beating around the bush. This is Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh god, where has he gone? Five Nights at Freddy's is an American indie horror game series created by Scott Cawthon. Scott was a small Christian video game developer who got his start making small budget video games, as well as making some 3D animations, mostly religious ones, that are...
So come join us as we retell one of my favorite Bible stories.
certainly something, but mostly for a younger demographic. However, these were largely panned by quite a majority of critics, but that would all change when Scott would release the game Chipper and Sons Lumberco back in 2013. The gameplay itself was simple, mostly comprised of minigames, but the criticisms this game got was huge, particularly with the designs of the characters, being compared to creepy animatronic robots that you would find at establishments like Showbiz Pizza or Chuck E. Cheese, that we don't really have over here in the UK. Not to say that the Brits aren't capable of making animatronics, we just don't have eating establishments with these sort of robots performing for the audience. I guess the closest will probably be Butlins, but even then they're more mascot costumes that are probably half full with the performer's sweat. But back to Chipper. Initially, Scott was distraught by this negativity, until one day, he took that criticisms and used it to his advantage to create an intentionally creepy game about creepy robot animals. And in the August of 2014, the world was introduced to Five Nights at Freddy's, a simple point-and-click horror game developed on the software ClickTeam Fusion. Before the game's release, not much was known about it, other than a single teaser image that was posted on Scott's website, the now defunct scottgames.com, a teaser trailer, and a Kickstarter that raised a grand total of naught. But despite all of that, in its first few weeks, attention rapidly picked up, with nearly every popular YouTube gamer playing it, including people like Yarmimash and PewDiePie, but arguably the person who popularized the Let's Play on the game the most was Mark Fishbach, most commonly known online as Markiplier, who has been dubbed the king of Five Nights at Freddy's after beating every single game in the franchise excluding FNAF World. FNAF 1 was intended to be Scott's final game, but after the immense popularity he had gained in that short window of time, he made the decision to carry on with the franchise, with multiple sequels, merchandise, books. I was only recently made aware that they made books, and a movie deal, which at the time I started writing this script had begun filming, but now we've just gotten the full trailer for it, which I must say looks amazing. Just a quick little update, the movie is out, and I have seen it, and it's great.
What do you mean they're already filming the sequel?
Nowadays, Scott has retired from video game development after the 7th entry in the series, Ultimate Custom Night, and spends most of his time with his family of 6 children. And he only had 2 boys when he was developing the first FNAF, but he would still go on to publish the later games, as well as heavily working alongside Blumhouse for the movie. Now, my history with the franchise is sort of an interesting tale. I first got into it back in its prime in 2014. I watched all the Let's Plays from Markiplier and Jacksepticeye. I'd often play the mobile versions of the first 2 games, but I mostly more remember playing the first one. I actually don't remember playing the second one, if I'm being honest. But regardless, I really liked FNAF. However, there was one issue. I was 11, and my brother, who was 6 at the time, was trying to get into it as well. So my parents permanently banned FNAF from the house. And this was around the time of the hype of the 3rd game. But in 2022, during the time I got into Bluey, I watched the episode Facey Talk. And of course that episode had the funny Freddy Fazbear tune. And after making a meme, I just got back into FNAF all of a sudden. I don't know if it's because I remember liking it years ago, or because the movie is on the way. But regardless, I decided to go back and revisit the first 2 games, which I was once really into as a tween, forced to step away from, and then got back into, and ask myself, was it worth coming back to Five Nights at Freddy's after several years? That feels really weird to say. Honestly, I was very interested, but also a little bit nervous returning to these games after many years. So let's kick it off with the original Five Nights at Freddy's, first released on August 8th, 2014 on Desora and August 18th on Steam. The premise is simple. You are given the job as a security guard at the popular eating establishment Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
To eat our pizza, crust first.
But there's only one catch to the job. It's the night shift, and the animatronics have a tendency to move about at night.
The animatronic characters here do get a bit quirky at night.
Your task is to monitor the cameras and check on where the animatronics have moved, and when they're right outside, make sure to close those doors while conserving as much power as you can from 12 AM to 6 AM.
Without electricity, the gates and cell doors would fly open, and out would come all of our old friends.
failing to do so will result in you being jump scared and stuffed inside of an animatronic suit. Just like the title suggests, this lasts for 5 nights, giving you an earning of $120. Except it doesn't last 5 nights, because once completing it, this will reveal a harder 6th night, where only 50 cents is added to your paycheck. And after that is a custom 7th night, where you can customize the AI level of the animatronics, and by setting them all to their maximum level will drive you insane. Just look at Markiplier.
Oh god, no! Fuck me!
And that's FNAF 1 in a nutshell. So you're probably wondering, if the game's that simple, why did it become the big thing?
But it's a question that someone could ask. Someone might ask this.
Well, I think that one of the things that makes this game really hold up during my replay of it is definitely the sense of tension, and the simple gameplay actually helps it in the game's favour with its limitations. FNAF has the same mechanic as one of Scott's previous games, called Sit and Survive. You are basically left immobile from your office, with little to no self-defense other than just 2 doors. And it's not a situation where you could just leave them both closed for the whole night, as that quickly drains your power, which was vastly different compared to the horror games before this, which was why it stood out, because it was so different. The sounds in this game also enhance the creepiness. Everything from the noise when the camera goes off, to the noise of the phone guy blabbering on, ultimately becoming a distraction to the player. But some noises can actually help the player. This video by the YouTuber Scruffy did a really good video discussing how the sounds in the first game really elevate the gameplay. I won't go too much into the lore as that becomes more prominent in the second game, but what is given here is great because of how much is unknown. Like, everything from the missing children's incident to the bite of 87 was all a mystery, and it led fans to create their own interpretations of what happened. But one of the key things that makes people love this series is the animatronic characters themselves. In this game, there are 4 animatronics, and a hidden 5th one, which isn't Sparky the dog, he was just a hoax. Whilst the animatronics don't look realistic compared to real ones, their designs have that feeling that they could be real. And despite looking very cartoony, Scott didn't go overboard with the features by adding a bunch of gore and other cliche horror things like that. They perfectly fit into the uncanny valley. Looking innocent, but with clever lighting, they can look really creepy. Now onto the characters themselves. First is the main man, or bear, himself. Freddy Fazbear. He's a perfect representation of the time period the game supposedly takes place in, around the 80s or 90s. Now, unlike most pieces of media, where I take a look at their character and personality, these don't really have one, as, well, they're robots. So instead, I'll be taking a look at their AI level and hostility. Now, Freddy is probably the most interesting one, as he can be both passive and aggressive at the same time. He's very much stationary during the first 2 nights. Even Phone Guy says it as well.
Interestingly enough, Freddy himself doesn't come off stage very often.
But when night 3 rolls around, that's when he starts moving. His AI only increases as the nights go on, and when he's on the move, it is really chilling. It's very much helped that you can't really make him out through the fuzziness of the cameras. You can only make him out through the cameras with his glowing eyes, and his menacing laughter getting louder and louder the closer he gets. Now, Freddy is the only animatronic to have 2 jump scares, with one of them being if he sneaks into the office while you're not checking on the East Hall corner and have the door open.
Okay, the rabbit's gone. Now where did Freddy go? Was that him laughing? Oh. Oh, he's not in the cameras. Oh, this isn't good. This is not good.
In addition to this, there is another version of Freddy called Yellow Bear according to the source code, but everyone more commonly refers to him as Golden Freddy. He has a completely random chance of showing up as a poster in the West Hall corner camera, which leads to him showing up in the office, and staring at him for too long causes your game to crash, or by setting the animatronic's AI level to 1987 respectively on the custom 7th night. Next up are the other 2 that reside with Freddy on the show stage, Bonnie, the bunny, and Chica, the chicken, which Bonnie is a boy despite having a feminine sounding name, and Chica is a chicken. Remember when everyone called Chica a duck? Because I certainly do.
And apparently to the internet, that duck is very sexy to some people.
Anyway, both of them look great and perfectly unsettling, with Bonnie's lack of eyebrows and Chica's cold stare she gives at you during her time in the dining hall. That still haunts me to this day. Like, as a kid, I was terrified of Chica, and I did not want to get jump scared by her. But Scott seems to think otherwise. He's gone on record to say that during the development of the first game, he stated that Bonnie was the creepiest animatronic he made, and just like with Mark Mason had with Hi-Fi from the Raggy Dolls, Scott had bad nightmares about Bonnie. As for their AI, Bonnie is probably the most hostile animatronic in the game, as he is always the first to move off the stage, typically nearly every night, with the exception of night 3, as Chica moves off first that night. And as for Chica's AI, while it may not be as hostile as Bonnie's, she does move every night as well. Now both of them will attack you if they're at your door. Bonnie on the west side.
Okay, I'm only going to concentrate on Freddy and Foxy because they're more of a threat. Then I'll only check up on the other two every so often. Okay, so there's Chica. Where's Bonnie?
And Chica on the east side.
Bonnie's down the hall. How come Freddy hasn't moved at all? Oh, hi Chica! What? What? Why can't I close the door?
Just make sure you don't get the doors jammed, which can happen if you click the doors or lights too many times.
You being for real? It can't!
Finally, from the main animatronics is the fan favourite Foxy, the pirate fox. As his name implies, Foxy is the only animatronic of the 4 to have some sort of a gimmick, that being a pirate, appropriately located at Pirate Cove. The thing that makes Foxy stand out from the other 3 is the fact that we had no prior knowledge of him until you actually played the game, as in the initial trailer, we only see Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. When you see Pirate Cove, it has a sign that reads, "Out of order." Just like I said with the lore, it makes you think, why is it out of order? But then you think back to what Phone Guy said on Night 1's phone call. Yes, that's his actual name.
The place wants to clean up its history, especially with the bite of 87.
You start to connect the dots. At least that's what fans thought in 2014. As I grab my book of FNAF theories, old and new. It states that... No, where is it? Ah, here it is. The Bite of 87, 2014. In 1987, a child got too close to Foxy, resulting in Foxy biting the frontal lobe off the child, resulting in the closure of Pirate Cove.
Yo, way to go, Fox, dude. Not only did you make my kid cry, but you fucking killed him too.
But enough about old theories, back to Foxy. Oh shit! Buddy! Yeah, about Foxy. His AI is mostly sly and malicious. He would usually make his move on the second night, but don't be fooled by that, as if you're not careful, Foxy can be active on the first night, but it's typically the second. Foxy has 4 stages. The first is when the curtains are completely closed, and you can hear him humming to himself, similar to how Freddy laughs. Second is when he pokes his head out of the curtains.
So you're the Pirate Cove character, better keep an eye on him, but I need to keep checking on Freddy and the others. This is so high maintenance, I'm not even being paid enough for this.
The third is when he's off his perk.
What? Oh, that's not good. Ah, Bonnie and Chica could be up the blind spots. No, where's he gone?
And the final one is when he's completely gone from the cove and he sprints down the West Hall.
I've got you now!
Ah, close the door! Oh, you think you can outsmart me, Foxy boy, huh? Oh. Is he gone?
Just make sure to check back on the cameras to see if Foxy went back completely. Also, every time Foxy bangs on your door, he will drain more and more of your power! Whilst that happened, the jump scares in this game are a mixed bag, to say the least. Whilst they don't leave a long-lasting impact on the player, especially for those trying non-stop to beat the game, as they can definitely get repetitive very easily, as jump scares are not scary, but at the same time they do a successful job in creating fear in the player, and that's helped a lot by the tense atmosphere. Sure, there are indications in the sounds that make you understand you're gonna die, like Freddy laughing louder than usual, or Bonnie and Chica groaning in front of you, but the reason those work is because when those noises happen, it makes the player understand that something is not right, and when the jump scare happens, it catches them off guard. More than typically, the people that say FNAF is not scary are those who are only seeing people's reactions and let's plays of it. When they are playing the game, it slowly starts to sink in. With the lack of dialogue and the preference on having ambient noises, really elevate the creepiness of the game. And who knows, maybe the jump scare might make them piss themselves, like a regular jump scare would. And that's the magic of the first game, because FUCK! Oh, not now! I almost forgot to mention, if you're not careful with management of equipment, the building will eventually run out of power. Damn, and it was at 5 AM too! This is one of the best bits of the game, as it somewhat releases the pressure off the player, but still makes them fear death. And now what will happen is Freddy will show up at the door and play his music box. As we should all know by now, this song is an extract from the Toreador March by French composer Georges Bizet and sung by the opera Carmen. This part can range from lasting 5 seconds to 20 seconds until total silence, with a large amount of uncertainty if you're Yes! Oh, get in! Suck off Fiat Sopa's nice lollipop, Freddy! Sorry. What I was trying to say is that there's a large amount of uncertainty if you're gonna die or be very lucky like me and 6 AM rolls round. Which wasn't the case for the previous night guard.
No! No, please, I only just got to 5! Freddy, please spare me! No, come on! Please!
Now, no. All that fear there isn't helping either of us.
Oh yeah, that's Freddy's other jump scare. So overall, Five Nights at Freddy's 1 is a decent horror game. Whilst the gameplay may not have aged the best, you've got to remember that no other horror game had these mechanics. The tension is perfect, the characters are memorable, and the jump scares are effective. For the first few times. And there's a sense of replayability, as their AI doesn't act the same every night. Do I recommend it? Yes. If you have no idea what FNAF is, but want to see what the fuss is all about, just play the first one and you pretty much get the gist of it. It's easy to see why it got popular. Critics praised it, a fan base quickly grew, and it gave Scott the motivation to carry on his career in video game development. It's quite incredible seeing a small indie game turn into a widely known brand across the world. And Scott didn't even intend for this to happen. It's just... Hold on, phone's ringing. Hello?
Yeah, hi. I'm calling on behalf of Fazbear Entertainment. Due to the missing children's incident that happened at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, we've had to close the whole place down.
Right. Only now you close it?
However, we have a new location opening soon, and we've decided to place you there.
What new location? Well, that was convenient.
Oh, god damn it, where is this guy? Oh, hey, you must be the new security guard.
Yes, that's me.
Welcome to Freddy's. Now, first things first, we don't talk about the old place.
What old place?
Perfect. Now, follow me. Now, the boss put most of the money into these new animatronics, but they're still the same characters than before. You know, Bonnie and Chica. I fucked the shit out of her.
Excuse me?
Oh, and of course, you know, there's Freddy. We also have this balloon shitbag and this puppet thingy. Apparently it's here for security purposes, but I don't look like it's securing anything to me.
What happened to Foxy? What the?
Yeah, those little shits kept pulling it apart, and we got fed up of putting it back together. So we kind of leave it as some sort of jigsaw thing. Believe me, if you saw what those kids can put together, it'll fuck you up for life, man, I'm telling you. Alright, this is where you'll be staying. I'm gonna go. I don't want to stay any longer after 12 AM. So just listen to the tape on your desk and it'll tell you everything you need to know. See you at 6.
Right, let's listen to this.
Hello, new Fazbear employee, and welcome to the job as a security guard at the brand new Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. This tape is to inform you about getting through your first night. Now, as you know, you have a camera system to monitor the multiple rooms across the pizzeria. If you spot any suspicious activity, please write it down in the logbook, and a member of the staff will see to it. And if a criminal or any other unauthorized personnel were to enter the building, use the flashlight you have been provided on your desk. But if that fails, don't fear. Our animatronics have all been fitted with a criminal database, so they will keep you safe during the night. Good luck on your first night. And remember, everyone has a part to play here at Fazbear Entertainment.
Who puts the phone underneath the table?
Hello? Hi, so I'm the last security guard working your place here at Freddy's. So, what you just heard on the cassette is only a fraction of what you need to know. The whole criminal database seems to be malfunctioning with the animatronics, and they have the tendency to enter your office. Honestly, it's more of a pain than when my dog tries to get in my room, and he loves pizza. I'm getting off topic. If Freddy and his friends enter your office, use the Freddy head to protect yourself. Oh, fuck! And one more thing. There's a music box that needs to be wound up. Failing that will... Oh my god!
Oh, that didn't end well for him. So, FNAF 2. The announcement of the sequel had everyone hyped, with the fandom analysing nearly every bit of the trailer and all the teaser photos that Scott would put on his website, scottgames.com. Interesting to note that Scott initially wanted the game to be released in the year 2015. But after releasing the demo, he decided to release the full game, and on November 11th, 2014, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 was released. Just like the previous game, you are working as a security guard at the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which is much larger compared to the first game. Also, can I say it looks more like a Chuck E. Cheese than the FNAF 1 location? Because the FNAF 1 location just looks like a regular restaurant with just animatronics, while the FNAF 2 location looks more like a Chuck E. Cheese with a full-blown arcade and multiple different party rooms. But other than that, it's the same game as before. Defend yourself from the animatronics, there's a jump scare if you lose, and there's an extra 6th and custom 7th night after completing 5 nights, whilst earning less money than you did in the previous game. Now, while it controls the same and acts the same, it does a good job at feeling a bit different to the previous game with its new mechanics. These include a flashlight to check what's down the hall and inside the cameras, which can run out of power. But luckily in this game, the building itself can't.
And even though your flashlight can run out of power, the building cannot.
Other tools include an empty Freddy Fazbear mask, which defends yourself from the animatronics. And finally, a music box, which must be wound remotely by going to a specific camera and winding it there. But this, in my opinion, is what actually draws me back from this game, as I feel like there's too much to do. Sure, it doesn't sound like the worst thing in the world, but it becomes more stressful when you realise there are no doors to close and 3 ways for the animatronics to enter the office, which include the main hall and 2 vents on each side. That's when the stress kicks in. But my biggest problem with this is the amount of animatronics. Remember when there was only 4? Now let's nearly triple the amount! 11 to be precise. First, there's the toy animatronics of Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica.
Smash.
They wander around typically every night, but can be lured away with the mask. Freddy appears in the main hall, and Bonnie and Chica through the vents. There is one pro to them, and that's that they become less of a worry as the nights go on, but that's because there's others to worry about, like the puppet or the marionette. That's the animatronic that can only get you if you don't wind the music box, presuming that was the case with the previous night guard. And as for the toy Foxy thing that yeah, that's Mangle, an amalgamation of parts of a Foxy that the kids kept pulling apart, but the bloke already summed them up, so I won't repeat. Anyway, it becomes more active on the second night and makes this horrible radio static. Fuck, it's there. It will only get out of the vent if you're wearing the mask until the static can't be heard. Thank god. And can you believe that's not all of them? Yep, because there's another 4 being called the Withered animatronics of Foxy, Freddy, Bonnie, and oh my god, what the fuck is that? That is by far the scariest animatronic in the whole franchise, Chica. Who are by far my favourite ones from FNAF 2, just because they're one of, if not the only thing that makes this game creepy. Seeing Chica with this wide-ass jaw and Bonnie with no face is terrifying. But Foxy and Freddy still have a scary look on their faces despite being in better condition than the other 2. Especially Freddy, who I can make a 10-minute long video on why he's so perfect. To defend yourself from these fellas, you must quickly throw down the masks to avoid them knowing that you're the night guard. Doing that too slowly and they will kill you. But Foxy ain't fall for no mask. Instead, you must flash your light at him if he's down the hall. But be careful, as there's one little shit who loves to fuck you up. This is Balloon Boy, one of the few human animatronics. He can randomly drop by your office and take away your flashlight batteries, allowing Foxy a free ticket to kill you.
Hello?
What's that sound? What do you want? Go away! I don't want your balloons! Wait, what happened to my flashlight? Did you take my batteries? Stop laughing, please! Oh god!
Golden Freddy makes a return in this game, but unlike FNAF 1, where he's just a rare screen, he's now a full-blown animatronic and customizable on night 7, which is a good segue to talk about the main reason why people were so hyped for this game. If it's not the games, then one of the regularly discussed topics when it comes to Five Nights at Freddy's is the lore. And just how convoluted it is. But to explain it in the simplest way possible, it goes as follows. Deep breath. Fazbear Entertainment is formed by friends Henry Emily and William Afton. William Afton is the real name of the purple guy seen in the minigames in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and he goes around in secret killing children and stuffing their bodies inside of the animatronic suit, all because 2 of his own robotic creations killed his children, and he thought, if Freddy's keeps taking my children, I shall take children from Freddy's. Because apparently that's a good mindset. So he goes about his business without getting caught, but the souls of the children want revenge, so they proceed to haunt William, and after trying to hide in an all-spring Bonnie suit, the spring locks inside clamp and fail, crushing William to death. Except he doesn't die because he gets put into a horror attraction which burns down, and again he survives. So to end it all, Henry and William's only surviving child, Michael, build one more pizza place where every animatronic is lured and burnt to death, where all of them will rest peacefully except for William, who is haunted by the souls of his victims. And then he's brought back in some form of a glitch in a video game and lures a game tester to become a successor. I don't know where it's going anymore. This is what keeps people discussing FNAF, and what Scott tries to keep expanding as the games go on. But the amount of lore present in this game is rather staggering, because in the first one it was relatively subtle, with rare screens in the cameras suggesting that kids were murdered on the premises, but the second one was the real introduction to adding more info to the story and trying to tie up loose ends. Oh, it's you! Oh my god, it's the Doctor from the hit BBC television series Doctor Who.
Yes, and I'm here to tell you something you must know about the situation you're currently in. Now, remember when your previous co-worker said about this being a new Freddy Fazbear's Pizza?
The brand new Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
Yeah?
Well, what if I told you that this place is actually an older location to the place you were originally at?
Okay. Yeah, if you can't get the joke. Oh shit! Doctor, get out!
What? You're telling me, the Doctor from Doctor Who, to get out?
No, seriously, get out! Now!
Why should I?
This is my chance to shine and your chance to fade away.
Oh god.
Why ever is this creature hiding from little old me?
Yeah, basically FNAF 2 is actually a prequel. So to give you a quick rundown, the timeline goes as follows. FNAF 4, Sister Location, FNAF 2, FNAF 1, FNAF 3, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, try saying that 5 times fast, and finally Ultimate Custom Night. Help Wanted and Security Breach are in a league of their own. What I do like about the lore present in this game is that it isn't too much of a secret, unlike how later games treated this, with its multiple endings and things that can only be achieved by hitting certain objects, like tiles. I'm looking at you 3 in Sister Location. Like the minigames after you die. While at first they seem like simple minigames, the longer it lasts, the more suspicious things become, with it all tying back to the purple guy, whether it be the Give Cake minigame or the Foxy Go 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 game. The phone calls are another indication too. At first it sounds like Phone Guy talking about the differences between this building and the FNAF 1 location.
You may have noticed there are no doors for you to close. Even though your flashlight can run out of power, the building cannot. So don't worry about the place going dark.
But where it gets revealed as a prequel is in Night 6's phone call, which at first confuses players on why he's still alive, but then he says this.
When the place eventually opens again, I'll probably take the night shift myself.
And that blew everyone's mind in 2014. So what it's saying is that the withered animatronics are not broken versions of the ones from the first game, but rather older versions of those animatronics. And to make things even more confusing, in Night 5's phone call, Phone Guy says that they were actually part of another location called Fredbear's Family Diner. And that wouldn't be established in the series until the 4th game, which is actually the first one in the timeline! Let me talk about the jump scares before I end my shift. The jump scares in FNAF 2, to put it quite honestly, aren't as impactful as the ones in the first game. If not, they're more repetitive, even more so than before. Now, I get it. The jump scares are one of the big selling points of the franchise, but in this game, all of them seem to be either the characters sliding right in your face, or more commonly, jumping towards the camera, which gets old really easily, which is sort of sad, because some animatronics might have an excellent design, like Withered Chica or Withered Freddy, and they've got the weakest jump scare in the game. The only one that kinda gets me every now and then is Foxy. Now you could be saying, oh, but in the first game, the characters just violently shake at you, and Foxy just slides in the room. Whilst that is true, those jump scares work because of the setup they have. While some of them have clues like they're gonna happen, like an empty pirate's cove or the doors jamming, but when none of those happen, the jump scares actually get you because they have a level of unexpectedness. But here, once you've made a wrong move, you know you're gonna die. And the sense of anticipation for the jump scare to happen begins to really decrease the longer it takes to appear. So overall, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 has its issues, but it's definitely not the worst game in the series. Hell, I wouldn't even call it a bad game, and it serves fantastically as a spreequel, if that makes any sense. It stays true to the original FNAF formula, whilst incorporating new mechanics. Its additional info to the story is well thought out, even if Scott did pull a sneaky by making it a prequel. And even though it is a prequel, it serves very well as a sequel from a video game standpoint. However, I do have my gripes with it. Like how I feel like there's just a bit too much in terms of the gameplay, the below average jump scares, and the amount of animatronics just creates more overwhelming stress rather than subtle yet effective tension. Do I recommend it? Honestly, no. Unless you thought the first one was too easy, I'd say sure, give it a go. But other than that, the new mechanics become more tricky to keep track of, and the story just gets a little bit confusing at times in the eyes of a regular gamer. But I can't bring myself to hate this game. I have a lot of respect for FNAF 2, not to mention the feedback it got and how it really started to build up the FNAF community that we have today. Whilst I don't view it that highly in terms of a video game's perspective, I don't think it should be overlooked. So, final verdict? Well, I don't think FNAF is all that terrible. Now look, hear me out, I understand your thoughts. Yes, in more recent years, Five Nights at Freddy's has very much been perceived as a joke to the general public, ever since I want to say after the release of FNAF World. And nowadays, it's pretty clear that the target demographic for it are a much younger crowd, even though I'm willing to bet when we got into it, we were probably around the ages of 9 or 12. But that isn't to say that everything about FNAF is cringe. From what we've seen, Scott Cawthon initially made a game knowing very well this might be his last chance at game development, but by pure luck, it turned out to be an overnight success, and he just kept going with it, which is why I think FNAF was so unique. It wasn't made with the intention of trying to be the next best game in the horror genre, like a lot of other games that were made after the success of FNAF, like Poppy Playtime, Hello Neighbor, or in the most recent case, The Garten of Banban. It also helped that there wasn't a game like FNAF at the time, so it presented something new and unknowingly changed indie horror, and brought forward the premise of mascot horror. Throughout this, I really enjoyed my time going back to these games, and I can assure you and promise you that this is no way based in any way, shape or form on FNAF 9's FNAF video. We just so happen to say a lot of similar things as each other. FNAF 1 is a bone-chilling trip down memory lane, and FNAF 2, while being a pain in the arse, was an interesting experience, especially since I don't have any recollection of playing it back then, and I can safely say that there's nothing cringe to report during my playthrough. For all the shit it's given due to its rather tainted reputation, an absolute mess of a recent game that is Security Breach.
Is that your mum? I told her not to come and pick me up. She's fit.
Yeah, I'd fuck her.
Thanks very much.
I'm still glad I went back to the two games that I once really liked. I don't know if I'll get around to playing the other games in the franchise. Like, I played Help Wanted, and from what I've played, it's really good. But I dread the fateful day or night I play FNAF 4. My arse will not be ready. So yeah, I'm not ashamed to say that I really like Five Nights at Freddy's, and you could bet your ass that I'm going to see that movie when it comes out. And if by some slim chance that Scott Cawthon sees this video, I just want to say, Scott, thank you for everything. I know a lot of people have said this to you before so many times, but seriously, thank you for creating such an amazing franchise that's filled with fantastic, funny, and talented people that are in this community that you've built up over the last 10 years. And I hope to see you on the flip side. Thank you, Scott. Man, I was running out there. How is it only 5:30? I can't talk for another... What the fuck? Why are you there? I forgot how I... Ah!
ticket.